All right. Man, Cass, I appreciate you hopping on the show, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out and having me.
Yeah, man. And I didn't really notice at the time when I first messaged you that you were going to be having a release on this date. I'd seen
Yeah,
that
I didn't.
floating around, but I didn't put two and two together. So
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think when we initially were trying to get a date together, I think it was like on a Friday, and it just didn't line up like timing wise. So I appreciate you doing it in the middle of the week, and yeah, it just happened to be today. So yeah, it came out at midnight last night, so it's been floating around throughout the day today. So
so
I
how,
was excited because I think our time, at least I'm not exactly sure where you are, but where I was, it came out at 11. So I had just finished up. We did a little thing last night, and I'm like, oh, we'll get to hear it. So I
oh,
think I was
cool.
early in line, or relatively early in line to hear it. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, where are you guys based out of?
I'm in Tennessee, West Tennessee,
Are you?
near Memphis. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and he's in.
And I'm north of Dallas a little bit,
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah,
South
I'm
Texas. Yeah.
So kind of got two different areas and two different perspectives on some things. You know what I mean? He gets a lot of the cool shows, and I have to go to every one that comes through town and make take the
Oh, absolutely.
make the best of any that I can grab. You know, so
I've been trying to talk my
We
old
are.
lady into one day settling down in Texas, but she hadn't even been to visit yet, so she can't be sold on it. So um, we'll have to see if we can make it happen.
what part of the world are you in?
I'm in
We're a little
Nashville.
spoiled here.
Yeah, I'm in Nashville now. I'm from Cincinnati originally, but yeah, here in the hustle and bustle.
Well, we'll get back to the to your song that released
Yeah,
today. Off the wagon, right?
yes, sir. The
Yeah,
wagon.
we'll come back around to that because I'd like to talk to you about the song and about Wes and all those
Yeah,
things. I'm tracking him down too. So hopefully one day we can get
yeah.
make that happen. Um, so how did you end up in Nashville then from Ohio?
So I came here at a young age. We kind of moved around, and then my mother ended up just settling here pretty much full time. I went to uh, high school and college here, and then out in Murfreesboro, like MTSU, and then now I moved down to Nashville about 2 years ago now. So um, it's changed just in the amount of time that I've been here, and I don't know how much longer I'll be like in the downtown like scene. I wouldn't mind driving a 30 to 45 minutes into town again, but just not on the interstate that I was coming into town. So I don't know. We'll see. It's just all temporary in the meantime. So, like I said, I'd like to relocate at some point, but right now there's a lot of work here, and so kind of doing this thing right now. So,
What
Were
is?
you studying music at
Go ahead.
MTSU? Sorry.
so no, no, no. I did a 2 year program before I went over there, and they didn't have a music business program, so I didn't get to do that until my third year of school. So it ended up having to be a minor, but it ended up being music business and marketing, like overall.
Oh,
So yeah.
awesome. Very cool. Sorry, Soul.
No, I was just gonna ask what was work for you if that's not too personal.
Oh no. When I'm here, I do like production work. I work at this place sometime, which is a vinyl production company. Um, I started working with them during COVID. Things were pretty uncertain out on the road. Um, I toured with an artist named Josh Morningstar, singer songwriter, and been out with him for going on 4 years now. So um, we went through a time period where things were kind of uncertain out on the road, and when I'm home, I like to pick up work and stay busy and do things where I can kind of put headphones in and kind of turn the world off and kind of just do some things with my hand or go outside and I do general contractor work and stuff too. I work 10 hours a day. I clocked in at 7 this morning, so um, just do what we got to do. Things are pricey around here, so uh, I'm an independent artist. Got to fund it in some way, shape, or form, you know. So
Yeah, completely understand. We had
yes.
Morningstar on the podcast too. I guess about I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and
nice. I'll have to check out that episode.
yeah, it was he was great to come on, man. He was cool to talk to. So
Yeah, I love his new record. It's so him, you know, like very much like what he enjoys, you know, which is awesome to see.
that's cool to
It's
hear.
been fun to yeah, it's been fun to watch his sound kind of develop. Um, and maybe it's just my perspective, but I've been watching, following along because of Ward and because of Cody and all those guys.
Sure.
Um, yeah, so it's been fun to kind of see his sound really develop into his sound.
Oh
So
yeah.
I dig the new stuff.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's just like unapologetically him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of like, I'm gonna go in there with the groove. Like I have ideas in mind, and he just straight up front, and the way he described it is if you can get past the first song, I think you'll dig the rest of the record. You know what I mean? So and I love
Yeah,
that first song so much. Like it gets me going. Because I mean, you have to have something like that in moments like that because that's such a realistic thing.
It's cool to hear somebody that knows him so well.
yeah, no question. It definitely grabs your attention.
Oh yeah,
And it's lagging on my side, so if I keep walking over you,
You're good.
Talbo.
yeah.
Um, I was gonna
You're
say
good.
it's nice to know, like, you know him really well. So when you say it's him, you know what I mean. You
Oh
you you
yeah,
know that more than most of us. So that's really cool to hear.
man. There's so many times going down the road that we're listening to 80s, 90s hip hop rap. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
funkadelic type stuff. Like it's all over the place. And then there's times where it's just completely stripped back acoustic sessions or live in certain rooms. You know what I mean? Like it's all over the place, and I love it like so much.
You can hear it in the way that I was
Oh
talking to him
yeah,
about
absolutely.
that.
Like I was about to say, like his influence has definitely come through, especially on this record. I would say more so than previous works. I
Well, he,
love it.
well, it seems natural for him to kind of flow anyway when he
Yeah,
sings. Like he's almost rapping in the way that he puts his stuff
internal rhyme
together.
scheme, and he's my favorite.
That's cool.
Yeah, I especially dig his. He's got a very unique cadence, and it's something that I don't know. I think I would have a hard time describing it necessarily to somebody else, but um, understanding a little bit more about his influences, it kind of starts to make a little bit more sense. And I
Yeah,
picked that up when we chatted with him, and so yeah, that was cool.
I like that he's been rolling out like the behind the songs too, because then it's like sometimes 5, 10 minutes of him describing where his mind was when he was coming up with these things. You know what I mean? So it's cool to
Yep,
see a little method in the madness.
Is that stuff you'd
absolutely.
already heard?
Uh,
Do what?
Is that stuff you'd already heard from him say like in person, and you're glad the world's getting to hear it, or is that new to you too?
Some of it was new to me. Like I got to like as they come out. Some of them I haven't heard. You know what I mean? And it was just from like one-on-one conversations that may have been cut, or it could have been just behind the scene recordings or whatever it was. But some of these stories I've heard, but there's a couple where I was caught by surprise when I got the link. You know what I mean? I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" It's like immediately call. I was like, that was sick. Um, I don't know. We've been excited about it for a long time, and I'm so happy it landed the way it did, and um, I'm just really excited for him.
nice. Just maybe for some of the viewers, I know we've got a few folks on TikTok, and obviously we'll
Sure.
have this in different places down the road. But would you mind maybe giving us your 90-second commercial, or just kind of, hey, this is who I am?
Yeah.
Just kind of a little bit about your story so everybody can get a little bit more familiar with you as an artist.
Sure. My name is Cass Jones. Originally, I'm from right outside Cincinnati, Ohio, a small town called Blanchester. Um, Now I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I've toured the road with Josh Morningstar for probably 4 years. Was playing percussion with him for a while. Um, I've gone through some trials in the past probably 5 or 6 years that have altered quite a few things in my life that I've had to face, and now I've done my best to take it on, and I've gone back to taking things day by day, which has been very new to me. But I'm excited for the opportunity, just for what lies ahead for myself,
Any That sounds great. Any specific kind of short-term goals, or even maybe mid to long-term goals, things that you have on your radar that you'd like to
It,
either accomplish or get to?
sure. Um, I mean, honestly, just for my releases, I just want to be as honest as I can be and really stand by these songs. Um, I've done a lot of hard work on the back end of things, and I just want that to kind of shine through. I'm not after anything specific in mind with an audience or anything like that. It's just I believe in these things at the end of the day, and I believe in the people that I surround myself with um, because we've all kind of gone through a lot,
Sure.
So um, I don't know.
Can you talk a little bit about your team and the people that the support group around you? I don't necessarily need specific names, but if
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about the folks that are helping you along.
Yeah, it's really been friends, siblings. Uh, my, I mean, I've rekindled a lot of relationships, not that have been necessarily burned, but have been kind of skirted to the wayside. And I just realized, especially in the past few years, just how precious our time really is, and I don't take any of that for granted. I work as hard as I can for everything that I have, and I don't take anything for granted anymore. Um, and I just hope I can do this for a long time.
Nice. All right.
What your last EP? It came out in 2022.
Yes, sir.
Has a lot changed as far as your music is concerned between that time and this time?
Like the recording process, or
Well,
like
that
my
too, but
writing.
even like your writing and maybe just the way you went about it, or the
Yeah,
I know everything is
man.
a changing target all the time. So
Yeah, especially during that time, like that was fresh out of COVID. Like all those songs were written, like so many of them were over Zoom because we had to, and like uh, I sat with two of those songs for over 2 years before I even went in and recorded them. Like I didn't even really want to do anything with them, but I needed to get them off my chest and just away for a minute. Like a lot of those, there's probably probably two songs off the project that I still play in the live show. Like some of them I don't even like come back to. I've written so much more since then just because I was able to get that off. If that
yeah.
makes sense.
Hmm.
Like uh, that was a time period in my life, and the the a little bit of insight. The girl of that entire project was me getting through and getting over. I did all of this hard work to get her back, and we're back now. And just my mind is just so much at more ease. My life is just we're in our own place now together. Like it's just I'm I'm in a different headspace than I was 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like, um, I mean, just a lot's happened. A lot of real life. A lot of things have happened on my family side, friend side, losing friends. Like, things were uncertain the past few years, and I've done my best to maintain sanity in my own way. And I've written a lot. So yeah, my writing style has changed quite a bit. My co-writers have changed a little bit. I've done quite a few solo writes. I've done quite a few full band productions. I'm sitting on probably 5, 6 recordings right now to roll out. I don't know the time frame necessarily. I'm looking to partner. I'm looking for publishing. I'm looking for all these other things that I'm trying to line up. And I'm just in the moment. I guess I'm just going to do these one at a time, realistically, because it's out of pocket. I'm funding the merch. So I mean, it's just how it is. It's a one-stop shop, and so I'm like I said, I'm back to taking it day by day and taking it as a realistic thing and realizing that this is precious. We realize that all these shows can go away at any moment. This is a luxury that we get to do things like this. Like, um, I mean, you work hard to get to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning and have a bus driver take you down the road and show up at your gig and get to sleep on the bus. You know what I mean? Like that's the dream. Is like eventually is like you're not responsible for like all that, and you can kind of just decompress for a second. You know what I mean? You're not driving 7 hours in the middle of the day from a gig right up the road. That you're probably in the hole that you went to go play. So
Totally understand.
yeah, I don't know. It's finding that balance, and I'm just um, with these recordings. I'm excited that I've already got quite a few done because now I can just roll out and kind of go back to the creative process. And I have been just in the past. I was just telling my girlfriend before I came out. Uh, just in the past 3 weeks, I've had four co-writes and 5 songs. So you either don't have anything for a period of time, or they kind of just like start hitting. So I'm
Right.
kind of at a settled place to where creative juices can kind of flow a little bit. So, but
Who are some of those co-writes, if you don't mind saying? I know
um,
Wes was one of them on this one, but
yeah, Wes was on this one. I still write with my father a lot. I love that process.
that's cool.
I don't know how else to explain it. We didn't have this. We didn't have this for a long time. Like this type of open relationship. It was always just like I was a kid and I would sit on the floor and I would have a first stack guitar or whatever it was. I'd be like, all right, what are we writing today? What are we writing today, guys? You know what I mean? Like I never viewed it as like that was my dad's job. You know what I mean? But I knew we were similar in so many ways, and we've had so many real just conversations, and the way that we express things are the exact same way. Like it's absolutely wild. Especially just we can kind of de-escalate each other and escalate each other, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like if he's down, like I can bring him up. If I'm up and I'm like he finds a way to like sizzle me down, and it's been such an awesome dynamic in the past few years, professionally at this point that we've got to experience. And I've been all over this country getting to hang out with my dad, man. Like that you don't get to do that, and it's been so special. And I'm happy that he gets to be home in the current time, and he's resting up and all these things. But um, yeah, it's been an awesome few years. So catching back up and doing these things. So
Yeah, it's good to hear.
yes, sir.
Um, in terms of, you talked a little bit about balance, maybe with regard to songwriting. I know at least I've known some folks that seem to be at their best writing when they aren't in balance. And then some folks mature and figure it out and can, do the writing can channel whatever it is that they need to channel. Have you noticed any difference in your writing styles from kind of where you've been through?
It was so easy. Like, I don't know if you know much of like the backstory, but just like kind of leading like into this song. Um, I've had to choose sobriety in the past few years, and that's really changed my writing style, and it's really changed my approach to so many things on so many different levels. Really,
Sure.
um, I mean, you stay present in all moments, obviously. Um, so my writing style is definitely, or my writing approach has definitely changed. Um, I'm still able to channel, and I even have talked about like I kind of want to step away out of my head, kind of in the next few months. Honestly, like I kind of want to break because I've been going hard, like honestly, and it's because I want to know. Like I want to feel these things. And the first line of the song is, "It feels good just feeling again." I want to feel the hurt. I want to feel all the good stuff. I want to I want the good and the bad. Like I want all the ugly stuff. Like I don't care if I have to go to the grocery 4 times in a week because it wasn't on the grocery list. Like I enjoy like the ugly stuff. Like I enjoy the process of things now, and I'm falling in love with the journey of things. You know what I mean? So like, um, and it's taken so long to like get to that point because it was always just about the end result. But like, it's it's kind of, I don't know, the molding process is kind of my favorite part now. So, um, having an ugly idea and just chalking it out and coming back to it with fresh eyes, I'm totally cool with. We don't have to knock something out immediately. Like if it's a good song, you should be able to come back to it. You know what I mean? And I shouldn't, after playing with it probably for a day and a half, 2 days. If it's super, like I dig it. I don't need the lyrics. You know what I mean? So, and there's some that you come back to. There's some that you're like, huh, I should just kind of mess with this a little bit, and I still dig that song. You know what I mean? But there's certain sets where I know that certain things are going to work and certain things aren't based on the audience. And I've kind of started asking myself, like, what am I missing in my set? Like, what could I use more of? And I ask that a lot of times in my co-writes. Like I've had quite a few co-writes in the past, I'll say, year and a half. A lot of them have been over Zoom, people who don't live here. A lot of them have been in person. A lot of them have been in rooms on the row. A lot of them have been here in my living room. Um, but a lot of times I ask that question. It's like, do you have something that you feel like you're missing in your set? Do you have a message that you want to deliver that you are missing, or that you want to talk more on? You know what I mean? Like that's the type of stuff that I'm looking for uh, when I'm coming to a write. Um, and I ask myself that every day, like what more do I want to talk about? What do I want to learn more about? What could I bring up in conversation to learn more about? I just, like I said, I'm excited about the process of things now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Some of the smartest people I know always, I hear them say it over and over again. They say start with the end in mind. And that's a great
Oh yeah,
principle, especially from a songwriting standpoint. If you know what it is that you need, and you kind of fill it in backwards. So
yes sir.
it's cool.
You mentioned the sobriety thing and the songwriting thing. You have a lot of friends that talk about both of those things pretty openly, between Wes and Morningstar and all these different guys. Um, what I guess that would, to me anyway, I would think having all those things in common would make those relationships pretty tight, and then
Dude,
also have a lot to bounce everything off of. Um,
man, it's a brotherhood. Like it's like you're home away from home, and that you're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, there's a Walmart that's close, but like you guys got to figure it out. Excuse me. Um, there was a time period where, I mean, even still, like when we go out, for the most part, it's just the two of us, at most three. The most that's been in the van's four. So I mean, like, there's a few variables, but for the most part, that's all you got. Uh, I mean, you still have to focus on everything back home, but when you're out, like, especially on our end, like, very independent. We got to make sure all our ends are tied. We're in contact with the venue day of still, like, load in, like, texting them. Like, it's a different ball game. There's quite a few people that are way high up levels that aren't dealing with this stuff on the daily level.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You got another
But
question, Talbo?
What are? Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, just more so I look up to these guys too. That's the biggest thing is, like, they have more experience in this than I do. Like, their days, they've taken on more days than I have with a sober mind. So I can look up to them, and every day I watch, and I learn, and I just appreciate what they do, and I just applaud, because it takes so much out, um, to choose different, and you could really take the easy route because you know what you want, but you don't because you made your mind up,
Yeah.
and you do it for the people around you. You do it for yourself first and foremost. That's why you're doing it. But you do it for the people around you because in the end, you owe it to them. They've stuck it out. I mean, you don't owe much to very many people, but people do right by you. You should do right by them. And if it's something that doesn't work well for you, you shouldn't be causing a scene and wreaking havoc and all these things. You gotta time to pull the big boy britches up and stand up and walk the line. Take it on. So
About how many days? I don't know. In the last year, have you been out on the road? Rough guess.
mm, this past year, a little less. It's been more so behind the scenes type stuff for his record.
Yep.
Getting settled in with a new booking agency, kind of moved around a couple times. Got signed to the label, so there's been a little bit of, if I'm being honest, we've kind of
Yeah.
taken a little bit easy this year. Past couple years, I mean, balls to the wall.
Full go. Yeah.
Yeah, we have, like, a little app on our phone that we keep, and it shows, like, all 50 states, because of Josh, because of Ward, because of going out and doing these things, and because of the fans that come out, Cody, all these things, because of these shows. I've been to 46 out of 50 states in less than 4 years. Like,
That's wild.
we've been kicking it,
Yeah.
kicking it, and all over. So
So I think there can be a misconception about what it's like to be out on the road that much. What would you tell somebody who maybe, you meet somebody and you tell them what you do? I'm sure in Nashville that, everybody, not everybody, but there's a big
yeah,
chunk of folks that work in the
vodka
music
shop. Yeah,
industry.
sure.
But if you were to meet somebody, say, outside of Nashville, and you told them that you're a touring artist, there's a perception of what that is like, and the reality of what it's like is a little bit different. How would you describe that to somebody who might not be so familiar with that?
Yeah. Well, the way I've best heard it put is, you go, you plug in, you pour it out, you unplug, you pack it up, and you go on to the next one. and whatever happens. Literally on the other side of that
Right.
microphone, sometimes sometimes there's a lot of people on the other side, and sometimes there's not. Like sometimes we in the past 4 years, I would say 4 years ago, it's just the bartender and the microphone. It's that those were COVID times, but like we've played
Yep.
behind plexiglass. Like you never know what you're gonna get. Like we played on like AstroTurf, what they called was a stage, but it's eye level with in a barbecue joint. We do what we got to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like um, I've also I've also heard you're a t-shirt salesman that also plays guitar. Um,
Right.
like cotton turns to gasoline. You got to get down the road. So I mean, like a lot of times you're breaking even at these joints. Like, uh, I mean, but the good times that happen are few are I mean weekly. You know what I mean? Like very very few times are you running into issues. Like people are out there to have a good time. Like you're not gonna have some guy who gets kicked out every night. You know what I mean? Which has been nice because it used to be that way.
Okay.
Definitely
I
used to be,
understand.
especially on Broadway. There's a lot of the. I don't want to talk in any certain way, but there's people that are getting kicked out every
Yeah, I
night
know.
on Broadway. So
Have you done your fair share
I
of
think they're
Broadway
most of
shows?
Soul Gravy's friends, right?
you
Yeah.
said what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
He asked if I played Broadway, and I said,
Yeah.
"Hell yeah, see
So
you there."
okay. So
No,
I wasn't really sure if that would be any, something you would be doing or not really.
yeah. A lot of times it's been if I do it, it's like split gigs. I really don't want to go play 4 hours of something, but I could probably go do two. You know what I mean? Like if we're doing like an acoustic split, um, a lot of times I'll go and put in ears and I'll go play percussion for somebody and just go make some money and hang out for a little bit and then I mean play for 4 hours or whatever. They're all covers. None of them are originals.
Right.
They just
Right.
turn. They're like, all right, and go. And what are we playing? So it's sometimes there's that type of stuff. But I mean, I try to currently I've tried to stay away from it. If I'm in town, I do riders rounds. I do showcases. I'll do like full band stuff. Um, but when I'm home, I like to just kind of be a human, which has been kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I was telling him a story. I was telling Talbo a story. I mean, we might as well, relay it here. But one of my buddies, we were at a award show in Memphis, and the Clint Park was opening, and my buddy didn't make it through Clint's set before he got cut off at the bar because he was already too far gone. And when the bar cut him off, he punched Roger, the mannequin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
Roger's been through it.
so Greg thought it was hilarious, but he
Oh
still got
yeah.
he still got kicked out. But
He punched him and just jaw jacked him as he's
yeah,
walking out.
he said Roger was looking at me funny
Yeah.
and just laid him out. So Roger is a mannequin that Ward Davis keeps at their merch table and
Oh
and
yeah.
and keeps a T-shirt on for sale. So our buddy Travis laid Roger out that night. So
Shout out to Travis.
yeah, yeah, he didn't make it. We didn't know where he went. He just got kicked out, and we stayed at the stage and watched the rest of the show.
Jeez.
We figured out he was okay and left it at that. So, uh, but he didn't
I
make
have
it
a
to the
couple.
stage to get kicked out. He got kicked out before he even got that far. So,
That's rough.
I know that's right. He's a professional. He don't half-ass anything. Um,
I have
You
a
said
couple
what?
live questions, if you don't
Sure.
mind. So any especially interesting live show stories that are suitable to tell?
Live show
Or any
stories.
memorable moments?
Yeah.
Something unexpected happened, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the first one that comes to mind that I started talking about was when we were in Boston and we had to play behind plexiglass, and we were sound checking, and it was like in the middle of like some restaurant slash bar venue. I mean, it was a decent sized spot, but like there was plexiglass and people were like coming up and like putting their hands on it, like mouthing words to us. I was
Like
like,
they're in
this.
prison?
I was like, I can't believe this is real. Like they would pull their mask down and like mouth words like we could hear them, and it could not. Um, in Lukenbach, uh, Josh, we were just doing like a duo acoustic thing at the time. I was playing acoustic like percussion, like cajon with brushes, and our buddy Bearcat opened up the show, and then didn't even know he was there, but Cody came up side stage and came out on the stage at Lukenbach, and they performed "Must Be the Whiskey" together a few years ago. That was pretty amazing and unexpected.
Yeah, very
Um,
cool.
Trying to think what else.
My
I got
part
to
two.
experience Red Rock firsthand, which was pretty special. Um,
Yeah,
I was just doing some media stuff out with Ward, but they opened up for Clint Black and Cody
Yeah.
for 2 nights, so that was absolutely unreal. Um, but
there's no
yeah,
other place quite like Red Rocks.
man,
You
oh
can
my
try to
goodness,
explain it to somebody, but until they get to see it for themselves, it's
sure,
something else.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, unreal.
my, I guess my second part to that question is, I know in different parts of the country, when you're putting together a set list for a show, um, there are different factors that I think go into deciding what you're going to put on the list. How do you go
That's right.
about crafting your set list for a geographic area or wherever you're playing? I guess.
Yeah, I like that. Um, so I guess I don't really alter it much based on the geographic area. It's more so like I like to start my set typically a couple of different ways. Usually with high energy, if it's going to be like a chatty room, and I can tell like I'm gonna have to kind of pierce through for a little bit and gain a little bit of attention. Or sometimes I like to come in with something like fresh and like something brand new, like off rip, and I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy doing that. But like, yeah, I guess I don't really dictate it much on the region. It's more so like on the room and what I feel like they're okay to listen, like start off listening with, and then I can kind of feel it out throughout the set. But I never really know the songs that I'm not gonna play. Like I know a lot of the ones that I'm gonna play, but based on time set, a lot of times I have to cut out quite a few at this point.
Makes
So
sense. Yep.
yes, sir.
Do you have certain places where you're going to need to play a few more covers, or do you try to stick to almost all original?
I do my best to keep it all original. There are times, especially if it's like going to be a little bit longer set, I'll throw in a few covers. But I like to do covers that not that many people do or not that many people know necessarily, but stuff that I enjoy or stuff that I grew up loving. But um, yeah, and it honestly depends on the length of the set in most of these cases.
Yeah,
What?
makes sense. So Sol and I have talked a little bit about just the geographic part. The Texas thing, for whatever reason, you don't get a lot of love for doing covers, and then there are some
Sure.
places where they appreciate the covers a little bit more. But I like your approach of picking covers that aren't maybe as well known.
Yeah.
Because you just get a different take on it.
I'm not huge on requests. I mean, but it really depends, like I said, depends on the room. If they just show up to the stage out of nowhere, you know, probably not as likely. But if it's like kind of like an open, like, hey, there's like 30 of us in here and I can see all of your faces.
Right.
I think, yeah,
To
if
make
there's something that
friends.
you want to hear, I think that's awesome, especially if you know like an original and you have something in mind. I'll be like, yeah, I'll play that right now. Like, that's awesome.
Yep.
Totally
Super
different.
cool.
But if it's just like, hey, play, Morgan Wallen, it's just like I'm not sure.
You're like, have you listened to me?
I'll
Haven't
try.
heard.
So, so,
I'll try my best.
so of
Get accused.
those covers that you do add, what's an example of a Cass Jones cover in those gigs? What are some songs you would choose?
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing his hat. It's a Keith Whitley hat. My go-to first is "I'm Over You." My second is an old Tracy Lawrence song. It was like a B-side on a record that I don't even know how well it did, but it was from a couple writers that I grew up loving, and I heard the demo before I heard Tracy Lawrence cut it. So then I was just like super in love with the song. You know what I mean? Like I've heard it at multiple different levels, especially like growing up. The song's called "From the Inside Out," and Tracy Lawrence cut it. It's on a record called "Lessons Learned." I used to play that record so much that it had scratches all over it, and I would just skip through that part because I knew exactly when it was coming up, and then I would just let it play out for the rest of the song. I'd be like, I don't need to listen to that part, but I can listen to the rest of the song.
What
Trying to think what else. Um, yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't really think.
Well, you mentioned some of those relationships that the people that you, um, I guess for lack of better words, you kind of grew up around a lot of these people as far as Cody Jinks and Ward Davis and all those different folks, right? I mean, they've been in
I
your
mean, I,
life for a long time.
I hadn't even graduated high school when I first was introduced to these people. Uh, I graduated in 2015. Graduated high school in 2015, and then I had to go to college. Like school. School was my first love, really. Like school, and then not many people. I mean, shoot, we're already talking. Not many people know this. For some reason, I had perfect attendance kindergarten through 12th grade, like every
Wow.
day.
Hmm.
Like was
That's
able to get
impressive.
a scholarship because of that, and like they gave me a watch. They gave so
Watch.
they were like, you gave us a lot of time, so we'll give you a watch. How about that? So I don't know.
That's
I
very
think I found out when I was in fifth. The way my mom summed it up to me, I found out in fifth grade that I made it that far, and they were like, imagine if he like made it until he graduated, and I was like, yeah, imagine. And then I was just like, I'll do that. And there, I guess like in my school district, nobody else had done that since like 60s or 70s or something. I mean, it would have to be like a 12-year period each time, to like for somebody to get through. I don't know. So it was kind of a thing that I decided to do at a young age. Don't know why. Um, but I don't know, man.
So how old were you when you said when they kind of popped
Well,
in
so
your life?
I was just about to say. So I was 13, I think, when we started going around, being around Ward, and then as I got into high school, like 2015 or 2014, 2015. I'm not sure when "I'm Not the Devil" and all that came out. That's the time that they kind of started touring together. Um, and then uh, like that was times like where Whitey was out, like Culture was opening up, that's when I first met Josh. Was out when he was out with Coulter for the first time, just in passing. I didn't even realize it. And then when Josh and Ward started doing shows together, uh, I met Josh up at Southgate House, which was like a hometown show for me up in Newport, Kentucky, right outside of Cincinnati. And we had a bunch of family and friends there. It was like New Year's Eve or something. And Josh's drummer didn't show up to the gig or like called last minute or something and said that he wasn't coming or something. And he was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess we're just gonna play as a 3-piece. He had a bass player and a lead player with him, and I guess he was talking to my dad at the merch table. He was like, Cap plays percussion, and he was like, "You think Burkheimer would let him use his kit?" And he was like, "I'm not even gonna ask him." And he was just like, "Take my van keys and my debit or my credit card and go get whatever you need." So I went to Guitar Center and I bought a cajon. They mic'd everything up for me and I bought nylon brushes and I put a hoodie and a blanket inside the cajon just to like thicken up the sound. And we just like ran. I knew his songs for the most part just from being out and listening to him open up the shows for Ward, and and I dug his stuff, so I like downloaded it and I started listening to all his stuff probably like 2018, 2019, I want to say. Um, and on the Whole Lot of Crazy record is where I first like started digging it, and then the Plea came out, that whole project, Pulling Weeds and all these other ones that really hit. And man, I was so lucky when he asked me to like go out with him full time after that because I thought that was just gonna be like a full fill in gig, and the other guy just kind of was just he was like, I think I'm done, and so then he kind of had to scale things back, if as far as I understand it, and then we kind of had a conversation, and he was like, "Would you want to go out on the road with me?" And that's kind of just how it happened, and we did that. Uh, Still are. So
That's very cool.
yes, sir.
I want to make sure we
Uh,
I want to make sure we get to one of
who
your
is?
songs too before too
Yeah.
much
Oh yeah,
longer. But
running out of time.
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, if you have one that you'd like to play,
Oh,
we're
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I'll just play the one that came out today if that's cool.
Hell yeah, yeah,
that'd
definitely.
Is
be
that all right?
great. Yeah.
Do we need to talk about the song or anything?
You can definitely do. Yeah, give us a rundown on the song.
Um. So I wrote this song on my back porch because I could not go to sleep because I was bothered, just genuinely just bothered, and I needed to talk about it. And it was just me, and my neighbors were outside grilling at the time, and they didn't say a word about it, so I didn't stop, and I just had the verse chorus and that's all I had, just over and over. I was just droning it out, and I
There's some
got
call connected to my phone. I'm gonna hang it up.
Uh-oh.
say what?
I think the Talbo got a phone call.
What
Um,
the fuck?
Yeah, hang on. Let's see. I can't mute you, Talbo.
Hey, when I turn on my car, there's some phone call connected to.
There, he got it muted. You didn't get a phone call, did you, Cass?
oh no, I didn't.
Okay. All right. I'll have to make a point to edit that part out.
Oh, gotcha. Uh,
Anyway.
but yeah, so I just got to a point to where I said what I could, and I was frustrated with it. So like I said earlier, I'm okay with leaving a song alone if I believe in it, and I'll come back to it. You know what I mean? So I did, and I sat with it for a couple months actually, and there, like you said, there's only a few other people that are out here trying to do it this way, and they were taking it one day at a time and trying to take a sober approach. And uh, I hadn't got to write with Wes yet. We had talked about it multiple times, and I knew that we had multiple conversations about trying to get through this thing. And this is what I brought to him, and he sat with it for probably about a month, and we just talked back and forth about what we wanted to say and different things like that. And then one day, out of the blue, he said, "How about this?" And he just sent me a verse, and I was like, "Ooh, we could do something with this." And we didn't do very much to it at all, and we laid, yeah, it's awesome. We just laid it down, and we do like a little exchange there on the end on the production side. That was just a cool little thing that we decided to do while we were in the studio that day. But um, yeah, I don't know. I love the life that we've gotten to put into this, and we worked with producer and singer songwriter Jordan Foster to produce this project, and he's also doing this the same way that we are, and sober as well. And so we're very lucky that that we're getting to take this route, you know. So a lot of love and a lot of time and energy and just relief and release has gone into this song. So I'm happy that it's finally out today.
Yeah, definitely. The just so the folks in the chat or whoever might be listening to this at any
Yeah,
point, he's talking about Wes Ship.
yeah.
So on
Sorry
the
about that. Yeah, West
TikTok
Ship.
for the TikTok people, go follow him too. It's Wes and it's SHIPP.
Mm.
And so yeah, he's on here too. So make sure you go give him a follow and make sure you follow Cass wherever uh, wherever you can follow, except for in person. All social medias places, wherever you stream your music, make sure you go hit that follow button and the bell so you'll know when. Cause you got more music coming, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. Yes. All right, man.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, it feels good just feeling again. No, it's not a lie, but I call it a win. I know I got a long way to go. No, I don't gotta tell you why, but I can't go on living a lie. Someone's gotta know, 'cause I can't even look myself in the eye, but I still try. 'Cause I told myself I wouldn't do it again. No matter how bad I wanna give in, I don't. No, and everybody wants what's best for me. Every now and then I just need to be on my own. Yeah, I fell off the wagon for way too long, so I'll get back on. When I hit rock bottom again, turn to the devil for a man to befriend. Oh Lord, just like I done before. I'm burning bridges just for kicks. Never worried about if I hit or miss what for. I'm already out that door. 'cause I told myself I wouldn't do it again. No matter how bad I wanna give in, I don't. No, and everybody wants what's best for me. Every now and then I just need to be on my own. Yeah, I fell off the wagon for way too long. But I'm finally ready to prove I'm wrong. So I get back on. I get back on. Mm. It feels good just feeling again. No, it's not a lot, but I call it a win. I know I got a long way to go.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a hell of a song, man.
Thank you so much.
I can just from your socials and everything, it seemed like you're really really proud of it, and I can see why.
Trying. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Sounds great.
Have you heard from different folks today since you put that out? I mean,
I really have.
yeah,
I really have. I've been at work most of the day, so I've kind of had to play catch up in the last little bit. Right before this, right after work, I came straight here, got recycling, did human things, went and did different things, and then went to a baseball game, left the baseball game, came here, did this. Um, but I wait, what? Hang
uh,
on.
yes, yeah, just folks that you've heard from today or whatever.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah, so a lot of them have just been messages, which has been the coolest part. Um, so many of them have been people I haven't heard from in a long time, which has been kind of cool. Um, but I mean, that kind of caught me off guard, honestly, if I'm being truthful. But um, this is a very transparent thing for me, so I feel like it's gonna happen in waves, like people are gonna be very open too, so I'm interested, you know.
Yeah, how is that? Like when you put that, you scheduled that out to come out last night at midnight or whatever, and you're just kind of putting it out there into the into the ether and just kind of letting it do its thing, but you don't really know what's going to happen after you hit that button.
Yes, sir.
But when you start getting some
um
of that feedback back, I'm sure that quietens a lot of noises for you.
yeah. So I don't want to play the Friday game. That I mean, there's millions of songs that come out a day on just Spotify alone. It's the best I can do is just let the song speak for itself and let it tell its story and me tell my story and we like I've heard it put, just build your corner of the world. That's all you get. You know what I mean? Like you can't help what happens a couple streets over. Like if they don't dig it, if this isn't for them, if they listen to something different, it's just how it goes. So I do what I do, and I appreciate everybody that does their thing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure every song matters and to get that response back, but with a song that's that vulnerable, I'm sure you know what I mean. The responses that you get back are going to be probably pretty deep in a lot of
Uh,
conversations.
yeah. Some of them are telling their testimonies and they're talking about their amount of time and um, what they've already felt from it just on their first listen. And a few people have said this is going to be their anthem that I've heard, which is that's cool. I I love the idea of being able to speak these things into existence. You know what I mean? For yourself, like set daily goals. You know, like if you're just trying to feel better today, that's okay. Like feel better today and tomorrow, take on tomorrow. You know. Uh, so I mean, just I'm excited to see what other people say, but at the same time, it's everybody else's story at this point. You know, that's my favorite part. Is just like my other release that I got to do. I get to just let this go now, and I now it's just another stepping stone toward what else I want to do. You know, and what else I want to talk about, and I'm just excited.
Yeah. You got something? No, I was going to
No,
say
man, I'm ready for the big question. Actually,
okay. What just real quick, what's kind of, do you have kind of a game plan on the next song or two? Do you have an idea kind of what you're wanting to do with that time wise?
Time wise, I'm hoping in probably um, early fall. I'd hope at the latest. But just based on content, you know, like I'm like just stacking that up is a lot. But I'm I'm also okay with releasing a couple variations of songs, you know, and I have
Mm,
other things that are already recorded of other songs, and I have live sessions that I've gone and done. So I may do things like that in the
yeah,
meantime and not rush into releasing a single and kind of just let this do its thing and follow it up with some other. Just kind of take it easy, man. Like I've been running. I've got quite a few things that are stacked. I might just let those slowly just roll out. Especially just like sessions. You know, if there's like acoustic sessions or just things that I can make bits and pieces with, you know, as well as full videos. Um, but yeah, a lot of them will just be like live versions of stuff, and then I have full band versions of stuff, and I have
yeah.
strip versions of stuff. So I'm I don't know. I might move a few things around and depending on how this rolls and see what's next, you know.
Definitely.
I think it makes sense to have a little flexibility built
Yeah,
in.
sure.
So you have some options where you want to take it, but I know we're super excited to see where it goes.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much. I
definitely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
You bet, man.
well, normally I ask like, you know, what was your first concert and stuff like that, but you got like
Mm.
you kind of had
I
the
was in a.
inside scoop to these
I think there's
concert
probably a
things.
picture of it. There's probably a picture of it somewhere. I was in a pumpkin seat with headphones on over my head, and I don't know if I was 2 months old. You know, like I was sitting in a kick drum case. You know, sitting side stage, like a county fair or something. So I mean, there's no telling.
Yeah.
But the first show that I remember going to was at a place and that's no longer there, and it still remains vacant. But they sold it a long time ago. It was called Starlight Amphitheater, uh, just outside of Nashville.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I went to a show there. I'm trying to think who it was off the top of my head. Oh, there was some. It was an artist from Oklahoma, but he was a kid artist. His name was Billy Gilman. I'm
Mm,
pretty sure
yeah.
he was like some country artist, and I remember my
Yeah.
mom and dad took me to the show, and the kid was like 11 or 12 or something, and I was like I think I was like 6 or 7 or something. And I think we went and met like some family friends or something up there. That's like the first one that like I vividly like remember going on like an outing and going to a show on like a big setting. But I used to sneak into shows, well not sneak in, but get snuck in to shows at Third Lindsley before it looked anything like the way it did here in Nashville. I was way underage, like 8, 9, sitting in a booth in the back eating cheese sticks. Like shouldn't be in there, you know. But I was down for staying up
That sounds
late
pretty
on a
good,
cool
actually.
night and watching the different artists that played and that came through. And I didn't know what all was happening, but everybody was there hanging out, you know. So I wanted to be there.
So it's literally been around you your whole life,
Yes, sir.
just music in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's cool. And you know you have a different perspective on it than a lot of people because you literally grew. You know, some folks are like, yeah, well, my parents didn't play or my, you know,
Yeah.
such and such. You know, but no, you've been surrounded by it
Oh
since
yeah.
conceivement. So you're
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like to know why. So like I'm like so like I went and got a job at like a place. My favorite thing has been since I was a kid is collecting vinyl. So when I was able to get a job, possibly finding out how to make a vinyl record, I was so excited. I was like, dude, what? You can get paid to go do something like that? Like, yeah, I'll go do that. Worked on so many cool projects too. Like that place is awesome. And they're independent as well. So um I don't know. I love the margins. Like I love like the outskirts. Like I've always loved that. Like it's nothing's given to you. You gotta work for what you're going after, you know? And it makes it mean that much more. It's all I've always lived by that. And another thing is the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. If that makes sense.
No, it
Like
does.
at the end of the day is like you can get caught up in all these other things in the ways of life, but like don't forget about like why you started, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and
Oh,
it's a form of sanity, truly. So
For sure.
so the most important question of the show we have to
yes,
ask everybody on
please.
every one of these. Um, what is your favorite Little Debbie cake?
What? Cosmic brownie.
Cosmic brownies. All right.
Is
There
That's
we
that
go.
little Debbie?
I don't think anybody's named that one yet. So
Is that little Debbie?
yes,
It
Okay.
is.
yes,
Yeah, that's
yes,
mine. That would be mine.
yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
Thank you.
That was your shining moment of the whole podcast.
Yeah, my God.
uh, all right, man. So the name of the song is called "Off the Wagon." Cass
Yeah, it's called the
Jones,
wagon. Yeah.
featuring West Ship. Definitely, y'all go check all that out. Follow Cass
Sure.
everywhere on all the socials. Um, like I said, go hit the bell on all the wherever you stream your music. So when the new stuff comes out, you'll know about it. That helps. It's something that I didn't realize when we first started doing this stuff, and how much those numbers help all these different
Oh
artists.
man.
And so try to make a point to say
Yeah,
so.
pre saves and follows.
Yep.
Pretty drastic differences.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping
Good
on.
to
And
meet you.
Good to
yeah,
meet you. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
One of these days when y'all are coming through the area, I gotta
We'll
come
track
in.
you down.
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Well,
All right,
thank you
man.
guys.
We'll see you
All
later.
right, man. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. Good meeting you.
See ya.